The one body part that you should always be paying attention to when analyzing body language are the feet. Unlike the face, feet body language doesn't lie. Yeah, eyes may be the window to the soul, but feet definitely take second place. There are 4 kinds of feet body language, and we're going to discuss all of them. Interested feet behavior show desire, attraction, or interest in being around you. Disinterested feet behavior are the opposite. They want you to go away. Happy feet indicate happiness, excitement, or anticipation, and anxious feet are cues that show up when someone is anxious or stressed out. Number 1 is interested feet body language. Interested feet show desire, attraction, or interest in being around you. Can you tell which of these following images show a likely sign of interest? The answer is number 2, and it includes the feet pointing cue. People's feet will tend to adjust and point towards the person of interest in a large group setting. The most charismatic person is usually the one with the most feet pointing towards them. Can you tell who the leader of the group is just by looking at their feet in this picture? To find out more about a person's intentions, look at the direction of their feet. Also, if you want to use this technique, make sure that your feet are pointed towards someone if you want them to know that you're interested. Either way, they should already be doing this subconsciously during important meetings with acquaintances. A more specific feet behavior is the V. It looks like this, and it's a sign of mutual interest, like an open embrace. If the person is not interested, they may look like this, but tilted away. When approaching someone, pay close attention to the angle of their feet. If they flash you this signal, then you know that they want to talk to you. Another cue is the foot forward. Have you ever heard the expression, put your best foot forward? Well, it's not just a fancy quote. Putting your foot forward also works in social interactions. Putting one foot in front of the other while in discussion is a nonverbal way to show that you want to be closer to that person. Similarly, a step back may mean someone is disinterested or disgusted. The dangling shoe is another one. It's definitely a very obvious gesture that shows that they're very comfortable. It invites attention. The gesture can also be disguised as a more subtle foot-rocking gesture, especially in large public spaces. Number 2 is disinterested feet body language. Disinterested feet body language is the opposite of interested behavior. They want you to go away. If you've ever had a dull conversation, look down. Chances are that your feet is pointed towards the exit or the nearest means of escape. We've all been there, you're not alone. When feet are pointing away, it signals disinterest or dislike, but keep in mind that it could also mean that the person is running late or in a hurry for something. How to use it. If you want to make it obvious that you aren't interested, point your toes away and turn your body. Only the most oblivious will be unaware of the meaning of the stance. So if you're in a rush and you're caught in an unwanted conversation, you'll have a better chance at finding an exit if you turn away. Additionally, most of us already know the meaning of crossed arms, and it's the same thing that can be applied for crossed legs. When a person suddenly does this, they may be feeling uncomfortable and defenseless, but it also signals relaxation, since we're relaxing one foot on top of the other. The dominant feet cue is, well, dominant for starters. I wouldn't really recommend doing this one in many social settings. This is the ultra boss mode. Command, control, and no regard for formality. Putting your feet up on the table is a huge power play. Number 3 is anxious feet body language. The more closer the feet are in general, the more anxiety the person may be feeling. The first cue is to shuffle. Imagine that you're engrossed in a deep conversation with someone you've just met. You're laughing and having a great time, but you notice that the other person's feet are doing the shuffle. What does this mean? Well, A, they lack confidence, B, they're lying, or C, both A and B. Next is a foot kick. This gesture usually happens when seated. There are 3 stages to the kick. The breeze, which is like a gust of wind blowing on your foot. The jiggle, when the foot goes back and forth rhythmically. And the kick, where the foot goes into full-on kicking motion. And as the stages go through, breeze, jiggle, until you're at the kick, the anxiety also increases. The kicker happens when people are experiencing high discomfort. If you see their foot go from jiggling to a high kick, it's a very good indicator that they're not happy about something. How to use it. Observe what questions trigger the foot kick in the other person. If you want to keep up a rapport, ease off on the questioning or offer emotional support. The foot kick is a cue to look out for in negotiation. Another one is looking down at shoes. You know this one if you've ever been in a relatable, awkward situation. It means that the other person is feeling anxious, unconfident, submissive, or all three. The ankle lock is when the feet are crossed and pulled back, usually done while sitting. This effectively locks the person in place, securing them back into the place of their seat. It can also be a wrestling move. What it means. Since the feet go underneath the chair, the ankle lock is a natural retreat and hiding behavior. It may be a sign of anxiety, especially if the ankles are held tightly together. When people are confronted with the truth, you may notice that their feet go into the ankle lock position and they feel less confident or may be hiding a valuable piece of information. Feet edging is when you lift up your feet to show the bottoms of your soles. What it means. When feet edging, you're literally losing your ground. Not to mention this is a terrible way to walk. Feet edging is done when we're already feeling ungrounded or nervous. The more nervous we feel, the more we shift our weight to the edges of our feet. Believe it or not, pigeons have toes, and humans sometimes resemble pigeon toes when we're turning our feet inwards, hence the name for the next one, pigeon toes. This can be as common as some people's normal stance, but a sudden shift of toes pointing inward can also have a deeper meaning. A sudden movement inward as the toes move closer together can signal insecurity, anxiety, or shyness. Since turning feet inward is a natural closing gesture, it also indicates a closing down of the V shape. If you see someone do this, I recommend moving to their side. It encourages them to turn around and open up their stance a little bit more. Number 4 is happy feet body language. These are the cues that you need to look out for to figure out if the other person is happy. Upward pointing feet is a gravity-defying cue. It's when weight shifts to the back of the heel and point the toes upward. Another one is the rare foot stomp or rhino stomp, and this can mean 3 things. Anger, like you can observe the foot stomp in young kids when they're being forced to do something. Stress, you'll also see the foot stomp in arguments where there's no clear outcome. And happiness. Excited and happy individuals who have a aha moment may also foot stomp. Bouncing feet is another cue that's kind of like this one. Bouncers typically shake their feet to relieve themselves of stored energy or tension. If you're in an important meeting, bouncing feet may be a sign of excitement. And finally, wiggling toes. Babies love to wiggle and stretch and play with their toes. This cue is a little harder to catch, especially if someone is wearing shoes, but wiggling toes is usually a sign of happiness and excess energy. It's called happy feet for a reason, as excess energy is spilled out onto our feet. And these are our cues for feet body language. This is only one small step, get it, towards becoming a body language mastermind. I recommend you go check out our other videos and learn more about reading people. Good luck, and please consider subscribing to the Success Bistro.